Hey Run Junkies, I have another story for you today, and this one is particularly special to me because it's really where this whole running journey got started, and it's the day I became a runner. Now we do have to go back several years, but not that far back because I have not been a lifelong runner. In fact, other than swimming, I wasn't athletic really at all. It was a cool fall day in 2008, and the reason I remember this is because it was cool enough that I realized I didn't have any cool weather running clothes, like at all, like none whatsoever. I had a pair of sweatpants and a sweatshirt hoodie and an old pair of cross-training shoes. You see, at this point, I had already done a few triathlons, so running was part of that, but I wasn't really considering myself a runner. I did some short triathlons, sprint distances, and a couple of Olympic distances. In fact, now that I think about it, I think I had only done the one Olympic distance. But those always happen in the summer. So my training happens in the spring and I'm pretty much done by the time the race is over, mid to late summer. And at that time, I also had a 10-month-old. Also significant at that time was that my husband had moved out and we were separated. We had just started dabbling with the idea of having our son split time between our houses. I was in a completely new world. It was totally foreign to me, fraught with all of that emotional upheaval of marital separation. And I didn't know what to do with myself until one morning, my son was actually spending the night at his dad's, and I woke up that next morning and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go for a run. That statement right there surprised me, but I rode that wave. I put on those sweatpants, I put on that hoodie sweatshirt and those old cross trainer shoes, and I ran up and out of downtown. I felt free, I felt unencumbered. The cool air filled my lungs, and running up that hill out of downtown just fired up the muscles in my legs. I felt strong. It was amazing. I felt like I was flying. I have never had that feeling before in not just running, but in triathlon in general. It was just a moment of complete release. And I spent the rest of that day just glowing with that effort. And I made a promise to myself that I was going to do this more often. And little did I know that I would still look back to this day on that fall day in 2008 and say that is the day I became a runner. Now I can't say that I've recaptured that feeling too many times since then, but I had found what I needed to cope with and adapt to single motherhood. When my son was away, I would just go for a run, just like I did that morning. And for my birthday the following year, I got a Chariot Stroller. It was my no excuses workout tool at that time. And it was great because I could load my son up in the stroller and go for a run, or even just take him for a walk, or I could even hitch that trailer up to the back of the bike and take him for a ride, which he absolutely loved. And for the next 2 years while we were still living downtown, I pushed him all over the place, walking, running, or pulled him in the trailer. After we moved out here to the suburbs, we did run a little bit more using that stroller, but he started to get a little bit too big, so we had to adapt again. And I'll tell you, if you've never actually pushed a stroller, that's a workout. And still, I look at people pushing strollers and I think, you know, good on you, because that's a tough workout. But running became a constant for me. And maybe I didn't go as often as I would like, but I did start running more and more as the months went on. And here's what I learned. I learned that in spite of hating running for so many years, I would not only grow to love it, but need it. And it sometimes feels like that whole process happened overnight, but it really did take several years. I consumed everything I could that met me where I was as a mom, as a single mom. So I picked up the Run Like a Mother book, and I picked up all of these resources that just met me where I was. And all of this helped me settle into some of the habits and the comforts of running that I still use today. I learned that you're never too old to start running. I learned that a runner looks like me, like you, like all of us. I learned that running is just as much about physical fitness as it is about mental and emotional fitness. I learned that sometimes if you don't have anything nice to say, go for a run. So that is how I became a runner. Thank you for letting me share my story with you once again, and I'd love to hear your story. Was there a particular moment that you realized you became a runner, or is it just a realization that you found over time? Please leave your thoughts, questions, comments, and suggestions in the comment section down below, and as always, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Also, head over to Go Find Your Awesome for so much more of my personal journey and my story. Thank you again so much for watching. Get out there, go find your awesome, and until next time, happy running.